Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. I'll say of the Lord that He is my strong tower in whom I run in, and I am safe. Just want to give you an update as the work never ends in the garden. Alabaster Flows, Urban Gardening. For my God is a good God. Yes, He is. Yes, He is. I'm going to step back. It's a work in progress, but I don't have all of the pieces that I ordered, so I'm putting up what I have to protect my babies as they grow and mature. So I got my shade cloths up. I was looking at another gardener, and she was like, if worst case scenario, if the sun just get too hot, get you a white sheet and put it up and block some of that UV ray and that heat and all that intensity, from your plants to give them a chance to live. And so if the sun beamed like it did yesterday, I'm gonna put me a sheet right here until I get my final. Well, actually I have three more shade cloths coming, and then I have stakes or poles. They're about 10 feet tall. So I have I think I ordered 10 of those. We're going to pull this out, and it's going to actually hover above the garden and give it a complete shade. So I think yesterday I told you all that I was going to trim the tomato plants, and I'm going to kind of show you what it looked like. Um, if you look and you notice, it looks kind of skimpy down at the bottom. As your plant grow, as your tomato tree grow, you want to give it a ventilation system per se. You want to take all the branches off at the bottom that is dragging the ground. I didn't cut this one off just yet. I need to go back. I trimmed this one, and I thought about it afterwards. I need to make sure if I need to trim this one, because this is a beefsteak tomato plant. I know I need to trim it, but I need to wait and see how many branches up I need before I trim the bottom ones. You want to make sure you don't trim those bottom branches too soon, because you'll weaken the stability of your main branch that's going up. I know they look skimpy, but that's what you want. You don't want too many leaves, because you don't want your tomato plant to be fighting to produce leaves instead of fruit. I'm going to show you this right here on why it's important to take off your suckers. So this is my main stem going up. This is the main stem going up. Let me get over here. This is the main stem going up. This is the branch that growed out. This is a whole new branch, which is a sucker. I saved this until I did the video. But you need to take this off. I don't care how pretty or how big it look, luscious it look. It's going to pull from this vine, which is going to stress this out in between, where your tomatoes are actually going to come from the main branch. Your tomato stem comes from where your flowers are, comes from the main stem. So I had to take this sucker off because it's just too much life being pulled. Now I could take this sucker and I could put it in water, and I can let it root, and I can have a whole nother tomato plant. Here's another one, for example. And now I'm trying to determine which one I want to take off. I let it stay too long. See, you have the main stem, then you have the branch, and you have the sucker. But see, the sucker is bigger than the extended branch. So I'm going to take that one off, because it's actually producing more for me. I'm going to take this one off, but I need to secure this first. Let me put this back in here. This is the one that I told you I just let it grow all out of the ground, so I am going to cut these off once I see which one is the strongest, honestly. Lord, it's like I'm missing these suckers everywhere. But this is just a beautiful example of, you know, trimming your tomato plant, taking off the extra branches and giving it so it can have that airflow. I have some tomatoes that's going to come here, but I'm going to pick that off. I just want to show y'all that. Excuse the grunting. I am going to the hospital to have a procedure tomorrow, so I'm not feeling my best right now, but all is well. God is good. I have the activities on my limbs. They're a little bit restricted, but I can still move, live, and have my being, and I won't complain. I did it before I realized. But this is my cucumbers. So until they're trained, I take these little zip liners and I don't even put it tight. I just put it on there just good enough for it to hold the plant in place as it grow up. Eventually your plant will start the little vines that actually wraps around and secure it. It eventually start securing it. But until then, you want to direct which way you want your plant to grow, because the main stem, it gets real thick and sturdy, and it's going to grow up or sideways based on the way that you train it. Prime example is this tomato tree right here. I let it do what it wanted to do, and everything wanted to go to the ground. So I may end up pulling this tree up. I'll see, because I still have a tomato plant that I was going to put in a pot. I may put the one that I was going to put in the pot right here and get this one and put it in the pot and just see if what it'll do. It's still my babe, no matter what. Sometimes you look at your pretty leaves, your pretty plants, and you see the bird poop on it, and you be like, oh shoot. But the bird poop is actually pretty good for your plants. All the greenery that you see on here is everything that I took off my tomato plants. And I picked all of the flowers, which is the fruiting flowers, off of the cucumbers, and a few off the pepper plants, because they're just not mature enough to give us any fruit just yet. They need to grow. I guess next week, when I'm able to just come back out and do some extra moving or heavy lifting, I am going to start the pile over here for my third little project for the compost, and finish this. My husband is actually helping me get things organized. He tried to stay out of my way because I'm real picky. and he know that my heart is really into this garden. It's my peace, it's my sanity, and he just give me that space. But right now I need his hands, and I'm grateful that he's here. He got this area over here kind of straightened up for me. I mean, it actually looks like a backyard right now. I still got my chaos in the middle of it, but that's okay. So this is where we kind of got everything lined up, moved it so we can have some space to move around. I got my potato plant bags back here. You just want to be mindful and very careful if you're growing potatoes, what you have it close to. I think it's only maybe 2 or 3 vegetables that actually are companion or compatible with potatoes. Other than that, everything else kind of, they'll go against it. So I just don't even put it close to my gardening at all. So So this area right here, we're going to clean that up. This table is going to go over in that corner. And then we're going to fix this up as a sitting area. So it's coming along. It's coming along, coming along. My Thumbelinas are coming. Oh, those are some beautiful flowers, y'all. Just wait till they bloom. Oh, they just don't, that little bud just don't do it any justice. So in here, the seeds I planted the other day, see my okra, they popped out. My thyme is coming through. Remember, all of these herbs, I'm growing this just to put it in my garden beds for protection. Or eating, continuous eating. But the basil is coming up. Let me see, the thyme is coming up. The lettuce is coming up. And oregano is starting to budge. I just actually watered it and pushed the dirt over it. So all is well. It's just a organized chaos mess right here that I got to get together. I got to come out here later. That white pot back there, it has all of my food scraps that I got to dump over here so it could just start. And then I'm going to get some leaves. I'm going to pull some of the dirt, grass back today. I'm going to spread down a bag of leaves. Then I'm going to put the food scraps all down on the bottom. And put the grass on top of it. I may put some more leaves on top of it and put some grass on top of it. So it's going to be grass at the bottom, leaves in the middle, then the food, then leaves, then grass. Putting the grass on top of it simply because the leaves will blow away. I have lots of scrap, lots of scrap. My husband forgot about the strawberries. They went bad, but they going in here. They went bad. We didn't eat them, but they're not going to waste because it's going to produce ample food for us to compost for us to grow more food. Cycle of life. Lion King is the cycle of life. Well, you all have a blessed and amazing day. I pray that God will truly shine His love upon you today. And I gotta close up my containers. This is my active workstation for right now. So everything that I use, I just keep it outside instead of trying to tote it in and out all day. But you all have a blessed and amazing day. I'm going to let you go instead of holding it down. You see in the ground and all of that. This is just my stock of store-bought compost and mulch. I have some pine straws coming. And I just do a little bit at a time. Eventually, I want all of this grass covered. I don't want any grass on my yard out here outside. It's beautiful. I love to see. I know everybody love green grass. They beautiful, tall, pretty green grass. I just love how it looks when it look more in tune with nature. Or when you go walk through the walking trails and you look down on the ground, you may have a little green here and there, but you have, chips and barks and things that fell from the trees or what the birds or the animals brought around and little homes that they probably made. It's beautiful, So I want this garden to mimic nature in a sense. So outside of the ants and the snakes, I could deal with the worms, but the snakes and the ants, they gotta go. I don't like them. Y'all have a blessed day.